Hey, just a pre-warning for this video. It may have some blood, gore, and maybe a little vomit, but if you're okay with that, then please continue and enjoy. I'll see you at the end. Horror in the West, Part 2. Written and read by John Anthony. It was almost 149 years since Harvey Jones was convicted of murder by Bill Shadow in the year 1870 in the town of Vigrandaville. Vigrandaville is located in Western America. It was a small town, the type where everybody knows everybody. There was a 12th grade boy who loved the heritage of this town and desired to learn all of its history, because it wasn't just the town's heritage, it was his heritage too. The boy's great-great-grandfather was there at the beginning of the town. This boy's name was Xavier. Xavier was a tall, muscular boy who was very attractive. He had dark brown hair and blue eyes. He was very athletic, bold, and brave. He did not want people to find out his last name was Shadow. He put on a red, short-sleeved polo, jeans, and black and white athletic shoes. He grabbed his analog watch and put it on his left wrist, then biked to school. When he arrived at school, all the students cheered because he was there. He was the most popular kid in school, but he didn't want to be. He was thinking of a way to get away from the crowd. At the back of the crowd, there was an 11th grade girl named Anne Murray. She was about a foot shorter than Xavier. She had short blonde hair, brown eyes, and was wearing a black sweatsuit and black and white athletic shoes. She was bold and semi-popular. She loved Xavier, but because Xavier was trying to get away from the crowds, he didn't notice her. Then Rachel Donegan bumped into Anne. Rachel said to Anne, "Watch it, loser!" Rachel was a rude, self-centered 11th grade girl that was cowardly. She was the second prettiest girl in school, but she was only as smart as a 7th grader. She was wearing a light red shirt, jean shorts, black high heels, and was wearing a lot of makeup. She wore her dark brown hair in a ponytail, and her green eyes sparkled like emeralds. She was 3 inches taller than Anne in her black high heels. As she walked down the hall, she tripped over Logan Hoover. Logan Hoover was a short, unpopular, nerdy, timid 10th grade age boy who was in the 11th grade. He had circular, taped-together glasses, a gap in his teeth, orange-red Harry Potter-type hair, a white button-up shirt, and a light and dark blue diamond pattern long-sleeve sweater with light blue sleeves, khaki shorts, and long white socks and athletic sandals. By the time Xavier got to class, it was over. Miss Huckleberry said in a stern tone, Xavier interrupted her. "Yes, Miss Huckleberry?" "You're late," she exclaimed. Miss Huckleberry was an irritated middle-aged woman who always had her dark black hair in a flicked-up bob. She was super tall. She wore the same outfit every day, a dark purple woolly long-sleeve sweater and a black skirt that nearly covered her feet, black leggings, and black heels, and always had the same sour look on her face. "Do you have your history assignment done?" she asked. "Wait, we had a history assignment?" Xavier replied. "Yes, your history assignment for a history class in the 11th and 12th graders is a 7-page paper on Harvey Jones. It was assigned 5 weeks ago and is due by Monday. Today is Friday," she told him. She wasn't very good at telling people what was assigned for homework. Nobody knew that there was a history assignment assigned 5 weeks ago. After school, Xavier rushed home from school and completed all his homework except for the paper. He biked to Harvey Jones's house, which was at the edge of town. Harvey Jones's house looked creepy. It was completely symmetrical. There was a garden-type hedge wall around it. Some spots of hedge looked brown and dead. The house was huge, probably 300 feet long by 300 feet wide by 300 feet high. It looked moldy and run down, but Xavier thought he could get some information for his paper. As he stepped through the gate, he heard someone shout, "Hey, what are you doing here?" It was Rachel. She was hiding behind a bush. She looked scared. She came out from the bush towards Xavier. It was almost 6 p.m. Xavier answered her, "School? What are you doing here?" "Same. I thought I would graffiti it and walk back home. Oh, and by the way, did you bring anything with 2 seats? Because my friends dropped me off and were too scared to go in, so they left me." Xavier answered, "Some friends. Also, I'm sorry, I only have a 1-seater bike." "Aw, crap," Rachel said to herself. Then another voice said, "Hey, Anne, Xavier and Rachel are here." It was Logan. It looked like Logan rode with Anne, and Anne drove her dad's 1998 Ford 2-seater pickup truck that was bright blue. Anne told Xavier and Rachel, "I told Logan where I was going from school for the assignment, and he wanted to come with me." "So we all came here for the same reason?" asked Xavier. "I guess so," answered Anne. Then all of a sudden it started hailing. The hail was the size of a ping pong ball. Logan called out, "I think we should head inside." So they went inside. "Can't see a thing," Rachel complained. Xavier grabbed 4 flashlights out of his bag and handed one to everyone. "Thanks," Anne said. They showed their lights on the staircase. The staircase went up 3 floors, and even though it was 4 floors, and it split left and right at the top and above where it was 2 Civil War cavalry sabers and a pair of pistols. They all went up left side of the stairs. When they got up the stairs, there were stairs to the 4th floor, but they went into the room nearest to them. And that room was not much. There was a bed and dressers and windows on either side of the bed, and on the opposite side of the wall there, for the main staircase, was a portrait of Harvey Jones. Then suddenly, hail crashed down right in the doorway in the room, which blocked the only way to the right side of the house, other than somewhere on the 4th floor to get to the right side of the house. Then more hail crashed down the entrance of the staircase, and they came up the left side. "We should probably find a way out," Xavier exclaimed. "No, duh," Rachel complained. Rachel pulled out some spray paint and was about to spray paint the portrait of Harvey Jones when Xavier snatched the spray paint and put it in his bag and shouted at Rachel, "No!" They all left the room and headed up to the 4th floor. That is all but Logan. He wanted to examine the painting more. He thought he saw the eyes move. Then he heard something, so he turned around and back towards the painting, then felt a stabbing pain in his back. He screamed in anguish. He looked down. He saw a shiny metal thing coming out of his belly. Then he realized it was one of the sabers from the other side of the wall. The saber went through his spine, downwards through his organs between his spine and his stomach, and finally out his stomach. He knew he was going to die. Then he felt queasy. He threw up. The puke was a mixture of blood and digested food. He also felt tired. He slowly lowered his head and his eyelids. Everything was black. Logan was dead. Xavier, Anne, and Rachel all heard it. Anne made Rachel check it out. Rachel came down and found Logan's lifeless body dangling by one of the sabers that stabbed him. She saw blood run down the blade on the floor, and it made an unpleasant noise. Drip, 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 drip. Then she saw it, a menacing thing standing there. Logan's body hit the floor. Rachel screamed. She ran up the stairs. Xavier and Anne saw her running. They were about to run too, but hail crashed down in front of them and made a hole way down to the ground floor. Xavier and Anne inched their way around the hole. They heard a gunshot fire. It hit Rachel in her right shoulder. Blood was gushing from her shoulder. Rachel was crying. She had almost made it to Xavier and Anne, but she didn't see the hole. When she did, she stopped, then tripped over her heels, fell in the hole. Her stomach was punctured by a piece of wood on the 4th floor. She hit her back of her neck on the 3rd floor. Her throat was cut on the 2nd floor. Rachel finally hit the 1st floor, which had spikes below the wood flooring, into a pile of hail. The hail was hard and sharp. It turned red with Rachel's blood. Her eyelids were shut. Her eyelids were salty because of how much she had been crying. Rachel was dead. Xavier and Anne dashed to the other side of the 4th floor, dodging bookshelves, bullets, and blades. They ran down the stairs. Xavier threw the paint can in rage. The paint can hit the shelf above the front door. A pocket watch and journal fell. Xavier didn't notice, but Anne did. Anne grabbed them both out of the way. Outside, the hail stopped. The moon was red. Xavier threw his bicycle into the back of the truck. Xavier and Anne both quickly got in the truck. Anne tried to start the engine. It didn't work. The ghoul stepped into the moonlight. Xavier and Anne both realized it was the ghost of the Harvey Jones. Harvey Jones slowly inched closer to them. Anne tried to start the engine again. Nothing. Harvey Jones was halfway there. Anne tried a 3rd time. Nothing. Harvey was at the gate. It took Anne 4 more tries to start the engine. By the time the engine started, Harvey was reaching out to grab them. Anne floored the gas pedal, and Xavier and Anne had escaped. To be continued. Hey, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Make sure to give it a like, subscribe, and tell all your friends about it. Anyways, see you in the next one. Keep those titanium skulls polished. Bye-bye.